Hello, I'm Yasmina Mahmoud.
And I'm Youssef, Bassil.
We are two of the 4 co-curators of Design in Conflict, which is an exhibition set to take place during the 2nd edition of Design Beirut. This project is also co-created by Taimur Khouri and Tariq Mahmoud, who weren't able to be with us in this video, but who have been part of this project in every step of the way. It was during the war. Mariana wanted to have our input regarding one of the projects that were going to be exhibited, since I'm co-founding Archifeed. So she wanted to have our input. This is literally how it started. It was literally in the middle of the war, and the other project was not really tackling that, and at that point nothing else felt relevant. In the middle of it all. So we sort of naturally started drifting in that direction and started seeing how important actually it would be to give the youth the opportunity to have a response to that.
I mean, it would have been difficult to talk about something other than the war while we were in the middle of this conflict back then. That's when we were having this conversation about the exhibition and what we should be showing. And, you know, back then we briefly discussed doing something about sustainability, but it didn't really make sense. It's not a theme that universities tackle that much, or at least maybe not in the way that we wanted to do it. And we really wanted to see how within, you know, this theme that we had put together and all the briefs that we had written for the universities, how each of the different schools and the different students would interpret basically what this brought to them, what we put on the table. And I mean, in the end, we were very lucky to get to show the work in Burj El Murr. I think that's a big highlight for us, because as a space itself, it means a lot to the theme that we chose. And you know, it's this building that was never completed. It was never repurposed. It was never used for anything other than war, basically. And it sits there like a ruin, but at the same time a project. It's never going to be destroyed. It's never going to be used. It just sits there latently in a way. It's just a shell there, a monument to war that we're kind of forced to see in the skyline of the city.
This latent structure is precisely where this exhibition belongs, because we're not really trying to present finished objects in this perfectly well-established context. What we're trying to do is to trace how design unfolds in this condition that really refuses a final form. So every project that we have exhibited in that space is basically a fragment of this unfolding that we are trying to trace.
True.
What we did is that we invited over 100 students from 9 universities all across Lebanon, and we really wanted to put them inside this condition, not to try to solve it, nor to try to transcend it, but to actually work with it as ground for whatever they produce.
Because the basis for this is not that war is just an event that happens in a point of time, but it's more about the cyclical nature of it and the way that it affects basically the built environment that we're living in, the way we inhabit spaces, the way we create objects and we interact with them. So this was something that was very important for us to explore in a different way than something that's about just post-war. How do we rebuild? How do we live after the war? It was about how does it shape us? How does it shape the way we live in these environments?
And the reason why this, even though it was conceived during the middle of the peak situation of the war, it still remains relevant today, because in Lebanon, conflict isn't something that really interrupts an imposed order. It is the order. So what we're trying to do is, we're not really asking how to rebuild after conflict. What we're really trying to do is to see how design operates in a context where conflict is this predominant condition, where space is already under negotiation before anything is even drawn.
You know, Burj El Murr is a perfect canvas for also putting these different projects in dialogue, because we have projects from, you know, product design courses, but also from interior design, from architecture, from other disciplines. There's going to be performances. So putting all of these different perspectives into conversation within a space like that is truly a privilege, I would say.
And the fact that in this specific exhibition, the student is on the spotlight. Like at some point we were thinking of maybe exhibiting works from practitioners, but then we thought that no, let this be purely about their response about this period that they've witnessed, and to really put them out there. And the fact that it's really this melting pot of all of these, we didn't want it to be purely architectural or purely product design, wala bas film. It's really to see whatever medium. We really designed the brief in a way to allow them to experiment with whatever medium they feel is closest to what they want to communicate.
And it shows in the diversity of projects, because you know, some projects are extremely down to earth, kind of pragmatic responses to what war imposes on us, and some projects it's the other way around. They're completely speculative. They imagine universes, times, periods, even scenarios that could exist or maybe could never exist, but they're kind of this exploration of what form and function can do to respond to periods of conflict, and that's extremely interesting.